Okay, go ahead and start it. Yep, I think we got a blown head gasket. It starts rough, like it's misfiring until it clears up, and then it starts blowing the smoke out at first and going, and we're losing coolant, but there is no leaks externally. So I am going to probably scope. A friend of mine has the bore scope. I might scope in there and see if there's, but I'm pretty sure it's getting coolant into the pistons, because it's done this the last 3 days that I've done it. So, and it smells sweet, like coolant. You can see how much smoke's coming out of it. So, we're gonna drive it over to my bay. But, yep. Head gasket. Hopefully just a head gasket. I don't think it would be a cracked head, because yeah, apparently she didn't like the new tail lights that we just put in fucking like 3 days ago. So yep. No good. No bueno. So we can see that was cylinder number 1, and yeah, that is coolant. That is why once you notice that you have a leaking head gasket, you're getting coolant into the piston there. With that much coolant in there, if I would have started this thing, it might be enough in there to hydro lock that cylinder up. So that is why you don't start them if they've been sitting for a while, because that's a lot of coolant there. So, well, we know for sure. I knew it was, it's pretty sure it was a blown head gasket, but that confirms it 100%. Hopefully it's a blown head gasket, not a cracked head. But it seems like most of the time if it's a cracked head, then it had an overheating problem, and I've never overheated this before. So we'll see once we get it off, but looks like we're pulling ahead. Then this is number 2 cylinder, has no coolant in it. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's kind of shiny. So I'll be curious to see what the inside of this thing looks like. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. There you go. I think so. Yep. Dude, that was so easy. Just leave it out. Yeah. That came off like no problem. No problem.
Should I take a video
It came
of how
loose.
we were?
Oh, yeah. That thing is tight.
Like
I was pulling with this is a manual transmission. I was pulling with a 2-foot, probably 30-inch long, half-inch drive, and had it in gear, and I was pulling as hard as I could that direction. That thing would not break loose, but I literally just put this in there. This is the easiest way to go, and then put it right up against the driver's side frame, and then just bump the starter, and it came right loose. By far the easiest way to do it. Well, got the head off. I don't know what caused that right there, but that's why we're getting leakage into number 1. But every one of the coolant ports has rust built up into it, and I don't know how I'm gonna clean that. It's just a little bit. But you can see it's all wet, and then you can see these other 3. But that's our problem. Looks like I don't know what would cause that. Let's look at the bottom of the head. I don't see any damage on the head. But that came out of there, and that came out of there. Let's see if it's warped or something. I don't know what the history of this truck is exactly before my parents got it. I think somebody might have done engine work on it before, because the timing chain. Yeah, just be careful. It's kind of breaking. Here, kind of go.
That's what I was doing. I was just moving this down it because it's going to help. Oh, so it's just the seal. It's not the...
So what it is these are little like kind of metal, and then these right here are your sealing surface for your combustion, and then that's your bolt hole. Those are your coolant passage, and then this one and this one are oil. Or no, those are bolt. Where's the oil? That guy. No, that's not oil. Where's the oil at? I think that's the oil. Yeah, and then this is a gravity feed, gravity drain, gravity drain, gravity drain.
Okay, I thought this was the region. This almost messed it up a little bit.
Where?
You can see right here. This is where it was sitting right there. See?
Oh, damage the piston. We should bar this over. Because now... I don't understand. I don't know what a damage did. Let's do this.
What was the front one?
That one. Because usually what can happen sometimes is the little piece of the valve could break off, causing damage in there. I don't know. Let's get a razor blade and scrape some of that off and look.
I want to try as best
Because
as
that
possible
little,
not to have that crap fall into it.
we can vacuum it. This stuff we want to try to get out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to fall in.
No.
Maybe I can pick and you'll vacuum.
Whoever had this beforehand had that. That's why I want to get away from that green coolant, because it shouldn't be rusting if there's coolant in it. Not like that. Yeah, I'll hold the vacuum while you pick at it so we can get it.
Okay.
Okay. For people who don't know this is my first time. This is a first generation Tacoma 4-wheel drive. It's got 2.7 in it. Timing chain. Front cover. You cannot take off the front cover without dropping the oil pan and taking off the oil pickup tube, because the oil pump is right here. So I've already taken the front cover loose and it wouldn't come up until I realized, darn it, I gotta take the oil pan off. But on the 4-wheel drives, you can't take the oil pan off with it in the truck very easily. And you might be able to, I don't know, but there's not much room between your front axle housing here. This is diff, and then you got the axle housing there. There's not a lot of room to get around that thing, and it sits pretty much almost up against it. There's like an inch. And this is all welded in. So it was either take the housing off or I guess pull the engine. So I'm gonna pull the engine, because I went ahead and bought the clutch and flywheel and all that stuff, and I'm just gonna replace that crap while I'm at it. And this was always kind of seeping just a little bit to make it wet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the engine and reseal everything and then put it all back in. This is becoming a lot more pain in the butt. I should have just pulled the engine to begin with when I had that thought. And so instead of just doing that from the beginning, now that's what I'm doing. So we'll see how this goes. Another thing I'm gonna try to do is, I think I can leave the exhaust like that, because it does come out of the way quite a ways. And then I think if I get the engine kind of set where I want it to go, then I can maybe squirrel its way out of there. If I take it loose here and lift it up and then take both the engine mounts off, maybe I can squirrel it out of here. We'll see how it goes. And then I don't know if I want to put it all back together outside or put it back like this and put the head back in. I don't know what the clearance is going to be. The head sits pretty close here, so I don't know what the clearance is going to be like if I try to reassemble everything out. If I'm going to have to take these loose and free, I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. So that's what we get to do today. Yay. Okay. Engine's out. I did take the engine mount off this side. That side you were able to leave on. The way I did it was just bolts and a chain. That stayed on. You were able to pull it without removing the exhaust. didn't really get in the way too much. I did put a floor jack underneath, kind of raise it up a little bit so I could basically get the jack, or raise the transmission up just a little bit, and then get the perfect angle so it would slide off. And there it is. Basically a guide pin here, a guide pin there. So now engine's out. I'm gonna go ahead and do throw out bearing there, get that replaced, clean that all out. And we're gonna do the clutch on this. So we got a clutch, and now I can take the pan off, take the pickup tube off, reseal. I tried to take the oil pump out, and I stripped the screw. So now I gotta drill that out. I'll drill that, get it out, and you go get another screw, and then I can go ahead and now do the timing belt, reseal the front, reseal the pan, and put it back in. So yeah, it was a lot of work. It was not what I was expecting, but I guess that's how it goes. Well, there's the mating surface there on the flywheel. It actually looks pretty good, but it was like $90 to get the flywheel. It wasn't very expensive. And then there's the clutch, which it still had some life in it, a little bit. You can still see. I don't know if this has ever been replaced. I have 240,000 miles on it. I wasn't really gonna do this right now, but since, yeah, it was probably getting pretty close. But like even that, there's a little bit of blue on that guy, I think. But all the fingers are still put in there pretty tight. So now I'm gonna go find me a 12 point. I don't have a 12 point that fits this, but it's out. And now I can do the timing chain in the front cover, because now I have access to remove the pan. So yeah, all sorts of fun.